Yes, a family affair for the Murrays, ensuring they're all on the same team. I'm fairly certain that was deliberate. And we've got some nice sunshine to greet this next match. I think for a lot of people pegged as the match of the day, I am certainly keen to see how this one unfolds. Emma Raducanu and Jodie Burrage playing for a couple of points.
First onto court, please welcome Emma Raducanu. Closely followed for the Union Jacks by Jodie Burrage.
Well, another subdued walk-on, I think. Not too many team members around. I think still recovering from the Evans-Norrie match just a little while ago, grabbing some food, refueling. But this one could be just as interesting. We had such a high-quality match between Cam Norrie and Dan Evans. It was Cam Norrie who came through and got the win for the Bulldogs. This one also worth a couple of points. And both of these players have been outstanding over the past few weeks, and particularly through this event. Just getting a shot of captain Anne Keothavong. She's out there to work alongside Emma Raducanu. She's already been on the bench alongside Emma once already. Emma picking up a big win against Katie Bolton. That was straight sets. Emma Raducanu representing the Bulldogs, who have an early lead, but we're not even halfway through the week. Jodie Burrage herself got a huge win, of course, over Jo Konta, again in straight sets. So both of these players playing far above their ranking, looking really good.
The towels are at the umpire's bench.
And it is a tough one to call. So alongside me, I will have Katie Swan in just a moment, but why not enjoy some blue sky? Just confirmation now of the overall match score. The British Bulldogs against Union Jacks. 22-12. It feels like they've got quite the lead, but as I say, they're not even halfway through the week, and plenty of points available even just through the rest of today, let alone the rest of the week. So all to play for. James Keothavong in the chair for this one. We've had quite a lot of wind through this week, but it has been just relaxing a little today. Still a bit blustery, but shouldn't be causing too many issues for these players. As I mentioned, worth 2 points this singles match. Well, the Union Jack flying strongly today as they are just nudging towards closing the gap. You can see we've got a couple of youngsters out on court. 21-year-old Jodie Burrage, current ranking of 289, but as you can see, has been just knocking on the door of getting into Grand Slam qualifying. It has been an excellent year for her, but she really has been hindered by injuries throughout her career so far. I'm alongside Katie Swan, who knows Jodie Burrage very well, of course. British Fed Cup player Katie Swan. What do you think about this matchup, and what has Jodie been doing so well over the past couple of weeks?
I think this is going to be a really interesting match. You know, both of these girls are coming in with great wins on the first day of this competition. And Jodie especially she's just got so many matches under her belt in the past few weeks. And just looking like she's gained so much confidence. I think she's done a lot of work over the lockdown period physically. You can really see the difference, just the way she's moving around the court and being able to stay fit for all those matches. And I think, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who comes through this one, because they both have big games they'll both be looking to get the first strike in.
Yeah,
And
flying ends.
looking forward to seeing how this pans
They've
out.
just... That's all right. Yeah, yeah.
Well, she'll be taking on Emma Raducanu, just 17 years old, but she's been making some big
Then what do they
moves.
do?
She
They,
picked up her
they
first
mate and then they die, don't they?
$25,000
Yeah.
tournament
Oh,
not so
what a
long
life.
ago. That was in India. Actually, that was in Pune. That was where I won
Yeah,
my
that's
first
ours, then.
tournament. So we got that in
That's
common.
ours, yeah.
Share a love of Pune.
Never actually been to India before.
It's a good one. You should go play. You should go and give it a go. But for Raducanu, she really has been playing so well as well. Come out of lockdown looking fresh, looking ready to go. Because again,
1
she
minute.
hasn't had really major injuries to deal with over the last few years like Burrage has. But she's had a lot of niggles. She's had to withdraw quite a few times over the past 12 months or so. But seems like she's fit and healthy, fresh and ready to go. I suppose it's part and parcel when you're growing, and something that you know about well, Katie.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's also been focusing a lot on her school, so she hasn't been competing maybe as much as she would like. She's a really good student. She was actually studying a lot when we were at Fed Cup. She was spending all her spare time just in the room doing her work, so she's definitely committed to that. But yeah, she has definitely struggled a little bit with injuries, but she's looking really good now. Just like Jodie as well. They both look fit and ready to go.
Well, I just took a little look at the
30
head-to-head
seconds.
there. Burrage taking the win. 4 in the third, though. That was just last year in Bolton at the 25K there. Burrage with a little more experience than Emma Raducanu, but they've both got game, both got a lot to work with. And bright futures ahead. James Keothavong in the chair, of course.
Emma Raducanu won the
Sister Anne
toss
Keothavong
and chose
in
to
the
serve.
captain's seat for the British Bulldogs. I'm sure there'll be no bias whatsoever.
Definitely not with
Possibly
with
the other
Judy,
way.
though. Yeah.
Exactly. Judy in the, well, not quite in the corner just yet. She's doing her ball girling duties.
Time.
So really looking forward to this match. Burrage against Raducanu, arguably two of the performers so far this week. Both playing some of the best tennis that they have played, and as Katie was mentioning, Burrage really coming out of lockdown as a better player, a more complete player, really using that time to her advantage. Lots of improvements that she's made. And it is such a fabulous setting here at the National Tennis Centre in Roehampton.
One ball behind the cooler. Thanks.
We've got Colin Beecher on the bleachers for Jodie Burrage as well. Done plenty of work with her at JTC. But it'll be Emma Raducanu
First
to
sets,
kick things
Emma
off.
Raducanu to serve.
A singles
Ready,
match worth 2
play.
points.
Love.
And there are lots of similarities, I think, in the game between these two. Lots of differences as well. It's not to say they play in an identical way, but both looking to favour the backhand, Katie?
Yeah, I think so. And both of them have got very strong backhands.
All.
Also, both of them have big first serves. They'll be looking to use that a lot to set up the point well.
15-30.
Good pace coming down the middle of the court. Very common return in the women's game. I'll just update you before things really get underway here on the mixed doubles going out on court 1. That is worth also 2 points. It was Judy Murray and Katie Bolter who took the first set 6-3 for the Union Jacks, and it's 3-all in the second. They're taking on Cam Norrie and Beth Gray of the British Bulldogs. Now looking for the drop shot there, Raducanu, but just not quite getting enough bite on the ball. Burrage with plenty of time to show off her much improved movement.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Emma's been working on as well, is just adding more variation to her game, though that one didn't quite pay off.
(30-40).
A couple of opportunities early here for Burrage to try and make her mark and snatch the break. And Raducanu, she does have a big serve, but in her previous match, when she took on Katie Bolter, her first serve percentage, particularly in the first set, was very, very low. But when it did go in, it looked a little bit like that, and she was winning a huge amount of points behind it. I think at one point she'd hit 5 aces out of the 8 first serves she'd made into the court. So it is such an effective shot. And actually, even though it was really low, it didn't really feel like she got burned for it at all. Managed to boost that up in the second set. Such a good return there,
Burrage.
straight down the middle, but just across the body going into that right hip. Makes the off shot really challenging. Burrage earning herself another break point. I have to say, her returns through the past few weeks have been outstanding, particularly when she was taking on Jo Konta.
Game Burrage.
It's a huge return once again from Burrage. A little in the slot from Raducanu, possibly wanting to keep her percentage up high. Burrage capitalising.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the things that Jodie's improved a lot over the past few months, is that return. She just seems to be a lot more consistent, and consistently getting that depth as well through the middle. It's such a very difficult shot to play off when it's coming so fast and deep, so you don't have any angle to work with.
And that backhand of Burrage, that she can crack on the return, she can really hit winners from anywhere off of that wing. Is that something that she's always had from a really young age, and it's just always been with her, or is that something that she's had to learn and work on?
I think a bit of both. You know, her backhand has always been her strength,
Jodie Burrage to serve.
but I definitely feel like it's improved and gotten a lot more consistent recently.
Let's for service.
Well, Captain Judy Murray was praising the serve of Jodie Burrage as well, how much that has improved over the past year. It's been enjoyable to watch Burrage out on court.
Love.
Both of these players really like to assert themselves on the point, like to stay up the court, get the first strike in. It's going to be a bit of a wrestle as to who can do that first.
all.
I think Emma will be looking to really put a lot of returns in play at the start. Just Jodie's big first serve, you really want to be neutralising that and making her play as much as possible.
taking a big swing at that second serve return. They both really like to get on the second serve as well, so you got to be careful about it going in the slot. Raducanu from Kent, Bromley in fact, my neck of the woods. She's a local. So the first time I saw him, it might have been even earlier than you, because she must have been about 8 or 9 years old when I first saw her play a match.
Yeah, that's definitely, way before I knew her, actually.
Tearing up the minis, that circuit.
The green ball.
Oh, she was so good at the green ball. Currently in charge of the Raducanu game is Mark Petchy, relatively new appointment for her. Also has a travelling coach, Matt James. Getting on that second serve, but she's been left to her own devices a little bit this week, because I think both of them are on holiday.
Well, that's good that she has the support of her teammates and Anne, Fed Cup captain, on the bench with her. This will be a great experience for her, because she's definitely going to be in the Fed Cup team a lot in years to come.
Break point chance for Raducanu. Yeah, just a little look at the mark there. Thought that might have drifted along. No call from Hawkeye Live.
Advantage, Burrage.
She can go anywhere with that shot. It's so smooth. Difficult to tell which way she's going as well, because she doesn't really over-rotate for the cross court.
Game Burrage. Burrage leads,
serving
but
away out
slow.
of that game. And it's just kicked off really where she's left off. All of the matches she's played, she's kind of maintained this level. And when she was playing against Jo Konta a couple of days ago, she was playing really well, of course, but it didn't feel like Jodie was redlining, or that it was a level that she couldn't sustain for the whole match. It looked quite comfortable. It looked like the new Jodie.
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped her having so many matches under her belt. Yeah, she didn't look out of her depth at all. I know she mentioned that she was quite nervous to go on to play Jo, because I don't think she's ever played someone that highly ranked.
No, I think that the highest ranking she'd play was a long way away from world number 14.
Here we go, Dad!
Oh. 15-all.
You just don't get that opportunity all of the time, do you? I mean, Jodie Burrage has not been in the Fed Cup team, so she hasn't had the chance to necessarily be around Jo so much and practice with her. And in the Challenger events, you're not going to be playing somebody in the top 20. Off the back foot, down the line winner.
15-30.
Yeah, it's been quite a jam-packed week for Jodie. As we mentioned, taking on Jo Konta and then playing a bit of mixed doubles with Andy Murray last night.
Yeah, it's been such a good experience for all these players, I think. You know, getting to play against the top girls of your gender, but also to have the experience of playing with someone like Andy and just learning from him.
30-all.
She's just started sharper here, Burrage. the baseline off that backhand once again.
30-14.
And based on what we've seen just in these first few games, I'd say Raducanu needs to keep it away from that backhand and sharpish. 4 backhand winners from Burrage already. That one an unreturnable.
Juice.
She needed that one.
Advantage, Burrage.
Just a little late on that contact there, Raducanu. Maybe beating a bit for pace.
Juice.
Raducanu winning the battle of the backhands cross court on that occasion.
Advantage, Raducanu. Game.
Yeah, just
Raducanu.
catching Burrage off balance there, and she just couldn't quite regain it.
Burrage leads by 2-1.
And Raducanu gets on the board. Still a breakdown, but it's only 2-1. So just to update you with
No
the
sit down, yeah?
noise
No sit down,
that we
Jodie.
can hear
Thanks.
over on court number 1. Cam Norrie and Beth Gray just took the second set, 6-4. So it's a set all heading into the champions tiebreak. Over there, Jamie Murray and Katie Bolter playing for the Jacks. So Katie, you've been around a little bit this week. You've been watching some of the action. Is there a particular team that you would have liked to have been a part of? Is one team more fun than the other?
Oh, I can't comment on that. I have a lot of friends on both teams, so I don't think anyone would be happy if I answered
Is one
that.
team better than the other? Do you have a strong favourite? Would you like to be on the winning team?
I honestly think they split the teams very evenly. It's gonna be tight. I mean, the Dogs obviously have a lead at the moment.
Love 15.
You haven't found yourself clapping for one team more than the other?
I found it hard not to actually clap during the Evans-Norrie match, to be honest. I was sat with Katie Bolter and I just really wanted to get involved. It was hard not to.
Oof. 15-all.
Both hands go up in apology there. very dead net court. Burrage just walking around with quite a lot of confidence here. Looks like she's got this one under control in the early stages.
Let's first service.
Jodie Burrage has been working out of JTC, as I mentioned earlier, just down the road from here actually in Chiswick, but they do spend a lot of time here at the National Tennis Centre using the facilities. Plenty of courts available, so why not? Heading up her programme is David Felgate. He's my old coach, so...
Yeah, mine too.
Of course, yeah. We know she's in safe hands.
Out.
15-30.
This week has Colin Beecher helping out. Got a lot of matches under her belt at the Progress Tour. Reached the final there. As we get a shot of Colin. Lost out to Katie Bolter, but it was such a tight match. It was 3 sets. She was serving for the match in the second. Maybe just got a little nervous. Didn't have a lot of juice left in the leg. She played an awful lot of tennis.
15-40.
Huge return from Raducanu. Earning herself a couple of breakpoint opportunities here. 88 miles an hour, that one dismissed for.
Yeah, she looked like she knew she was going to do that before the serve even came, and she executed it really well.
Out.
30-40.
I've seen her a few times already revert to the slice forehand return. Wonder if that's a tactic she made with Anne pre-match to kind of mix up Jodie's rhythm a little bit.
Out.
Game. Raducanu.
Yeah, frustrated with that game.
2 games all.
Feels like she gave Raducanu a couple of looks at some big swings. And so we're back all square here. Yeah, also know, working with Mark Petchey, Emma was telling me earlier this week that he's pretty keen on just improving her variety, giving her a couple of extra dimensions. Looking to use the drop shot. She's got great movement around the court, and she's got good skill on the ball, so she's got the potential to do that.
Out.
15 love.
Well, a couple of errors just creeping onto the racket of Burrage now.
Love.
Raducanu's starting to find a bit of confidence now in her range. Doing really well behind her first serve, Raducanu. 73% of them she's converting. It's a great return though from Burrage. Struggling on the second, hasn't won any yet.
That's a similar start to what we saw when Jodie played against Conta the other day. I'm pretty sure at the end of the match, Jo didn't win 1 point behind her second serve. It just shows how aggressive Jodie's trying to be on that second serve return.
Yeah, I think it's just not quite going her way. It's a sort of shot we haven't really seen Burrage missing in recent times.
Game Raducanu.
So Raducanu coming through that service game a
Raducanu
little
leads
more
by 3
comfortably.
games to 2.
She just nudges herself out in front for the first time here in this match, up 3-2.
Shaking Jamie? Yeah. Short. Exactly. You see me when you say this, she gets you off that ball. That's okay. Be ready, just be ready. Come on! To make a big one early in the rally if you're not in a position to do it. Go play the tighter a bit, make her play. You'll get the short ball. Yeah, there's nothing in it. You're hitting the ball great. Just be a little bit smarter with it.
Judy Murray with a few words of wisdom for Jodie Burrage, and she's just whipping on her headset, and I think we can just have a quick chat with Judy once she sorts herself out. Hi, Judy.
Put it on back to front.
We'll get used to it by the end of the week. So just a little word out here, Burrage and Raducanu, 2 young players. They didn't feature in your Fed Cup team a few years ago, but I'm sure you would have seen them as a welcome addition.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen them in junior events. I had Jodie with me in one of the Maureen Connolly trophies at Eastbourne, so I saw her a good few years ago as a junior, but really impressed with the improvements in her serve and forehand particularly, and of course in her fitness. So I think she's got a big, powerful game from the back of the court, and Raducanu is, I mean, she's so young. She's a fabulous prospect. You know, if she does the right things and keeps working hard with a great attitude, I would have very, very high hopes for her.
Well, they've both got big weapons off both sides. Is this as simple as getting the first strike in? I heard you just chatting to Jodie saying she needs to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah, absolutely. She started off like a train, and then, you know, sometimes when they go bang, 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 they almost like just try to out-hit each other, and sometimes you've just got to put a little bit of spin on, go for the margins when you're out of position and wait for the right shot. So yeah, they're very similar, and yeah, I'm actually very interested to see how this one turns out, who handles it the best.
Thanks so much, Judy. Hope you enjoy it. We
Yeah.
are. Well, Burrage really taking on the advice from Judy Murray there, telling her to be a little bit more patient. She will get the ball to attack, and that time working well. Kyle Edmund on ball duty. Super return from Raducanu, all over that short second serve and just walloping it away into the corner. Adding pace to the serve coming at her.
Led for service.
And Katie, Judy was talking there about being a little bit more patient and not getting sucked into that bang-bang sort of thumping match from the middle of the court. How difficult is it to make that adjustment? Because it's something that happens quite often.
Yeah, it's really common in the women's game now, as everyone just has so much power, and they love it when it's in the slot, you know, between the waist and shoulder height, and it's becoming bigger and bigger, you know, for girls to mix up their game, and you see it now at the top of the game. Ash Barty is world #1, and the variety she has in her game is amazing.
Love.
Yeah, if you'd have said 10 years ago that a game star like Ash Barty was going to be #1 in the world, I don't think many people would have believed you. WTA Tour has been about power for such a long time.
Love.
But even some of the power players that we're seeing come through now have that element of variety. So somebody like an Andreescu plays quite a lot of drop shots, does throw in the slice, but ultimately her game from the back of the court is powerful.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed as well. I obviously played her in juniors a few times. Yeah, it's something she's really added to her game is all the variety, which is clearly shown in her results.
Out.
40 love.
That's the sort of error that in that chat with Judy Murray for Burrage, she needs to be a little careful of. She's trying to come up with something out of nothing, really. It was a deep ball from Raducanu down the centre of the court. Not really something that Burrage would be looking to attack with a low risk. Yeah, you could see what Raducanu was trying to do there, but just not getting quite enough bite on it.
That's the thing when you're working on variation in your game is you just have to try. Sometimes, even if it doesn't work, you know, that's the way you're going to improve it. It's just by having a go and, you know, learning from the mistakes. If you make them, just that one landed a bit too deep, but it was the right decision.
Game Raducanu.
And a lovely service game wrapped up. And Raducanu, much like she did in the
Raducanu
mixed
leads
doubles
4 games to
last
3.
night, growing in confidence. Seems like she's found her range. And a lot of anticipation around this singles match. She's up 4-3. Well, you may have heard a little bit of noise coming from just next door. Match point all the way to 10-8 in the final set. A super return from Beth Gray and then finished off by Cam Norrie to take the win for the Bulldogs, and a couple of points notched up as well all the way to the wire. We have had our fair share of match tiebreaks this week. Gray and Norrie coming from behind. So you can see there, top right corner is the updated point tally. 24 for the British Bulldog. They have a lead of 12 over Union Jacks. Out on court right now, it is Emma Raducanu in your picture representing the British Bulldogs, taking on Jodie Burrage for the Union Jacks. We've exchanged a couple of breaks, but we are on serve here at 4-3.
Out.
And the support has greatly increased from both sides after the doubles is wrapped up, because that's the end of play over on court number 1.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be getting pretty loud over on this court very soon.
That's the way we like it.
Out.
30 love.
Who's got the best young up-and-comer? That's what this match is about. Well, Dan Evans in the house. He has been, I think he's been the loudest supporter. He's definitely been the loudest supporter on the Jack side of things. He's been out for every match he possibly can. It's a great serve there from Burrage, just cleaning that centre line. And I think a little bit of support is going to really help Burrage, because she was just starting to lose her way a touch with the unforced errors.
Yeah, and she has such an accomplished team on her bench to really help her boost her confidence and try to get through this tie.
You
can see there she's got a couple of ankle braces on. I'm sure she'll be wearing those for the rest of her career. Quite a few ankle issues, 3 major problems.
Game Burrage.
Lovely carving serve out wide. But it's been a really tough thing for her to deal with, because every time she just felt like she was getting going, she would somehow sprain her ankle once again.
Yeah, I was actually with her when she did one of them. We were playing in the Junior Fed Cup in Madrid, and we were playing a deciding doubles against Canada, and she went for a wide ball and rolled it, and I think that was the first time she did her ankle.
Yeah, tough at doubles, doesn't she? End up in the side tarpaulin or something. There's always some hazards.
Yeah, she got her foot stuck under the court cover on the side. Ended up having to have surgery. I think she's had 2 more since then.
Yeah, and they've all been something similar to that. Just a landing off of a smash was another one, and it just went. Fabulous return from Burrage. Raducanu scrambling to keep her balance there as she was pushed so deep, but Burrage not able to capitalise. Still only 21 years old though, Burrage, even though she's had those blocks of time out.
And that's what she'll be looking to do, is really dominate with the return and look to be aggressive with her backhand as much as possible.
Raducanu needing that first serve.
Let's first service. Game.
Now a really strong hold there from Emma Raducanu, the teenager from Kent.
Leads by 5 games to 4.
And keeping her nose in front. She's up 5-4. Well, you talked a little bit about Raducanu's studies. She's been using the lockdown time to catch up on schoolwork as much as possible. Hasn't had any time for anything else, she assures me, between doing as much training as she possibly could and keeping up with her schoolwork. She's a bright student. Attended Newstead Wood School, as did Dina Asher-Smith.
No.
So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
really? I didn't know that.
Not at the same time, they are different ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, they know how to handle a top athlete at school. Stick to the game plan.
Here we go, Emma.
Here we go. Come on. Every single one.
Make her watch it. Here we go. Come on. First one.
Here we go, Emma. Let's go. Time.
Let's go, Emma. Let's go.
So crunch time in the first set. Pressure on Burrage to keep herself in it.
Love.
She's getting quite a lot of free points, Burrage, off the serve. 58% of them coming back into play, 42% unreturned.
Just looks like sometimes she's going for a little bit too much when just aiming for that deep middle target. Keep her in the point and in a good position.
Tremendous baseline hitting from both players, but Raducanu just holding firm up at the baseline, managing to find the gap. Yeah, the team's saying it was a great second serve. It really did kick up well.
She just needs to stay really positive here, not let that affect the next point. She's been doing a good job of that.
Let's first service.
Well, Jodie Burrage is not sure about that one. Still having a look, but caught the back edge of the line. And that brings up a set point for Emma Raducanu and the British Bulldogs. Looked like she had that point wrapped up. Decided to take that forehand in the air and as a consequence lifted it out the back of the court.
Let's first service. Advantage, Burrage.
Maybe that net cord just putting Burrage off her rhythm. Didn't quite get up to that ball, and you can just feel the frustration for her. She's been pretty hard on herself right now.
Yeah, this is where she just needs to really calm down and take her time. Just be positive, have that positive body language.
She did so well there because Raducanu had guessed into that backhand corner and was there with some time.
Burrage.
But Burrage really closing the net well. She's just urging herself through this game now.
Game Burrage.
It's the serve that gets her through in the end, and leveling this
5
match
games
up
all.
at 5-all. We had a feeling it was going to be tight, didn't we?
Yeah, it was really tough to call at the start, and it's proving to be just that.
Nice return there from Burrage, and Raducanu completely fooled off that deep backhand, convinced it was going cross court.
Yeah, she really has the ability to hit that backhand from anywhere to anywhere.
Again,
15-all.
Burrage thinking that had drifted a little long, but no call from Hawkeye. No overrule from the chair.
Out.
30-15.
Completely different conditions here today than we had yesterday. Not too much wind, the sun is strong.
Out.
40-15.
Just didn't commit to that return. Such an effective return, isn't it, in the women's game? Just right down the middle of the court, getting it as deep as possible. Raducanu always looking to be on the baseline, leaning forward for that next shot.
Yeah, it's a really tough shot to deal with. There's not much angle to work with. It's coming so fast.
Game, Raducanu.
He just lost the commitment on that forehand again.
Raducanu leads by 6 games to 5.
Not looking entirely confident on it, but another service hold for Raducanu. She leads in this set 6-5. Let's have a little listen in.
Come on, Jodie.
From which bridge?
Fucking forehand.
Yeah, just
Don't beat yourself, forget it, because it's done. And just
Bit of air traffic. And Jodie Burrage not happy with her forehand. Apologies for the language. She is very frustrated. Once again, serving to stay in the opening set. Just seems to have lost the confidence, the conviction off that wing.
Yeah, and also mentally, you know, she's told herself that forehand's struggling, so she just really needs to turn that mindset around here, right now, this key moment in the first set. But the quality coming at her
from Raducanu is just getting better and better.
She definitely seems to be targeting that forehand wing of Jodie a bit more now as well. I think she can see that Jodie's getting a bit frustrated, taking advantage of it.
Bold play from Burrage coming forward there. Done really well at the net. She's won 75% of her points when she has moved forward. This time it's the forehand from Raducanu that gets away from her. That wide forehand return from Raducanu has been firing all week long. Looks so balanced, even when she's outstretched, and that one brings her a set point. Relentless aggression from Raducanu, and it's the forehand that is wayward once again from Jodie Burrage. And the youngest player out here takes the opening set, 7-5. Well, you can hear the frustration from the end of Jodie Burrage.
Yeah, there's no doubt about your commitment to that.
All smiles down the end of the British Bulldogs. Here's a little look at the numbers. Katie, what stands out for you in that set?
Well, they both have a very high percentage of first serve points won once they've made their first serve. Emma's slightly higher. And actually Jodie has a higher percentage of second serve points won. So it's very even based on those stats that you see. Just Emma taking one more of those break points, and Jodie just with a few more unforced errors overall. But you can see just from there it's very tight.
Yeah, a little bit tidier from Raducanu, just the 6 winners. She has maintained her aggression throughout. So it is the teenager that takes the opening set here. And some work to be done for Jodie Burrage.
Time. Love 15.
Burrage still looking to be very aggressive. Just looking at some of the numbers, the MPH on the shot. So after that first set, Burrage has just got a few more miles per hour off of both wings, forehand and backhand. As a consequence, she has racked up more winners, but also more unforced errors. Also getting word that Raducanu just doing a little better with a bit more spin on her shots and control. More revs per minute.
That's something that you have to accept when you have a game style like Jodie. Is she's so aggressive and she gets so many rewards from that, but you're also going to make a lot of mistakes, and that's just part of the game. So just accepting that.
Let's for service.
And picking the moments when to go for it, and also just when you need to rein it in a bit and stay in control.
Yeah, you can see there what the extra bit of spin is doing. She still has a lot of power on the ball, but just looks like she has full control. She's got a good grip of the ball. She can play it any direction. I think the first few games didn't quite have that, but as soon as she got hold of it, now looks like she can do what she wants. Strong return there from Burrage, though. Raducanu just losing a little bit of balance off the low backhand. And with two big hitters out on the court, it doesn't take much to really turn the match around, just stringing a few of them together. Breakpoint Burrage.
Juice.
Really going for it once again. But the forehand has been causing her some issues. Now that wide serve on the juice side being very effective.
Looks like she took a bit of pace off that one as well. Just tried to use the spin and make Jodie play from wide position on the court, and she hit her target really well.
Juice. Let's for service.
A nice serve right into that left shoulder, and Burrage just couldn't get out of the way of it. quality
Game,
striking
Raducanu.
once again, and it's the forehand that misfires from Burrage.
First game, second set.
Raducanu with a quiet fist pump to her camp. Looking good up a set and 1-love. Now, Katie, you know Jodie well. When we watch her play on court, sometimes the emotions, because she's so competitive, can just boil over a little bit. She can be pretty tough on herself out there. We're seeing a little bit of that today. But what is she like off the court?
She's a great laugh. You never really see that frustration from her off the court. She's very relaxed. She's great fun to be around. We've known each other since we were about 9, 10. I've been on a lot of trips with her. We've shared a room multiple times. She's, yeah, great fun. Yeah, she's really good fun to be around.
Love.
You just want to see her stay really strong here mentally, and yeah, there's still a long way to go in this match.
Oh, just delicately placed onto the sideline that time. Well, what's her best route to try and stop this little bit of momentum that Raducanu has built up? Because Rada's got a lot of positivity. She's 17 years old. She's oozing with confidence. Does Burrage need to look to slam down some winners or try and be a bit more consistent?
I think she needs to look to be a bit more consistent. You see here she's playing with more control, aiming for bigger margins. You just saw at the end of that first set, she was going for a little bit too much. Letting her emotions get the better of her, I think, a bit. Just needs to keep that controlled, and she's been doing it well for the past few weeks, so just kind of get back on track and stay calm.
Game Burrage.
A little bit loose from Raducanu, but down love 40. So maybe not too costly.
1 game all.
I mentioned that Burrage can get down on herself and can get a little tough with herself. She really is a ferocious competitor. She will not roll over.
Love.
I think on the whole, the forehand does look a little better. She's definitely committing more to it, but it's not quite slick just yet. Still looking a bit clunky on the way through, so if I was Raducanu, I'd still be peppering that side.
All.
It's part of the fun, uniqueness of this event is having your teammates as ball boys. You don't see that very often.
30-15.
It's a beautiful forehand. Laid off the
40-15.
outside leg, open stance, full rotation through it. Zipped right into the corner.
Game Raducanu.
And once again, the wide serve, which really has been
Raducanu leads by 2
outstanding.
games to 1.
Burrage has been struggling on the forehand, and it does go to that forehand, but the wide serve so effective from Raducanu. And she's up 2-1. No sit down permitted. Oh, maybe there is.
You want to sit down? Sit down.
James Keothavong not going to take on that battle. I don't think it's strictly allowed. He's a friendly umpire. So you said that it's all part of the fun, this sort of format. But do you think it's fun for the captains? And I mean this seriously, because there's an awful lot of characters they've got to try and control. Judy Murray, I think, was a little apprehensive at being on Dan Evans's bench on the first day. You've got all the Murrays on one team as well. I mean, it's got to be hard. Well, I mean, as much as we've got long days as well, it's got to be hard work.
Yeah, definitely. I was just saying,
Oh dear.
Love 15.
Just losing the commitment on the forehand. It was a great point before then.
I was just saying yesterday that it must be weird for these captains, Leon and Anne, you know, that captaining against some of their Fed Cup and Davis Cup players, which they probably didn't expect would ever happen.
Maybe they can get in their heads.
15-all.
They knows what pushed the buttons. And then you also have some matches where you've seen the captains on the bench with the opposite gender, which for Judy is probably quite normal, but
that's more like it.
30-15.
I'm not sure if Leon would have ever captained a female player
No.
before, so it's interesting to see that.
Let's first service. Oh. 40-15.
Nice body serve there that Raducanu just couldn't quite make enough room for. Good to see Burrage smiling. And she wasn't happy after that first set, I can tell you that.
Game Burrage.
And a couple of forehands working nicely in that game. That'll be a big confidence boost for her. It has been the wing that's been struggling. And if she can get that going, she might be able to make a push hit.
Yeah, she just needs to keep committing to that shot. Even though she made some mistakes towards the end of that first set, just keep trusting it. She's been doing really well with it for the past few weeks, so just keep going and not backing down.
Out!
15 love.
Well, Kerber-esque from Raducanu on shot number 3. Low forehand, getting her knees pretty much touching the floor on that.
Yeah, it was a great return. It was really deep, and Emma handled it really well.
quality hitting and so much juice on those shots from Burrage.
15 all.
Raducanu just couldn't stay with it.
$30-15.
Well, the Union Jack team just trying to pile on the pressure onto Raducanu. They know she's the most inexperienced.
Yeah, they have some big personalities on that team to really get loud.
Just trying to make her think twice. And that can be the result. Bailed out of a ball toss. Didn't look entirely confident there. Burrage has a break point. And there's the break. A big boost for the Union Jacks and Jodie Burrage. Dan Evans likes it.
Returning the court there, Jodie.
And she's now up a break, 3-2 in the second set.
New balls will still be lively. Yeah. Get everything on your
So I think we can head over to the British Bulldogs camp and be joined by Anne Keothavong. Anne, some big hitting out on display, but Raducanu was kind of growing in confidence, but that break came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, the energy levels have just dropped a little bit, but I have no doubt she can regroup and get it back again. But the overall quality of this match has been high. You know, these two are giving everything they've got out here.
Yeah, baseline tennis at its finest. What's been your advice to Emma? Have you been talking to her about keeping calm, maybe being patient, or have you just been letting her run free?
Well, you know, her and Jodie have played a number of times. They know each other's games inside out, so we've been pretty clear with the game plan. She knows what she needs to do out there, and it's just about executing it at this stage.
Thanks very much, Anne. Enjoy the rest of the match.
Okay, cheers.
Complete confidence in Raducanu, as Anne Keothavong says. She knows exactly what she's doing, just about executing. She's down a break now, so some work to do. Well, talking about the game plan for Raducanu, I'm sure that was sort of involved. Go big on the second serve returns.
Yeah, that one sat up nicely for her, right in the slot. She executed it perfectly.
Such good depth there, well out on the stretch in the corner on the backhand side from Burrage, but just really using those hands well, guiding that ball close to the baseline. So Anna Keothavong was talking about the game plan
13.
against Burrage. You're also somebody who knows her well. What would that entail? You don't have to give away all your secrets, just a couple of general points.
Well, I think you'd be looking to really neutralise her serve as much as possible. She's able to generate a lot off the serve and the backhand. And like we've seen so far in this match, you know, the forehand is a side that can break down when she loses a bit of confidence in it.
Oh, very nice. Raducanu's thrown in a couple of drop shots through this match. It has been a feature, but they haven't been perfectly executed like that one.
Yeah, that's the one she's looking for. And she used it just at the right time to really mix it up. Jodie wasn't expecting it.
And she's done it again. Burrage frustrated there. She managed to track it down, just couldn't control it. She was moving very quickly and was quite off balance all the way through that strike.
Advantage, Raducanu.
Raducanu forcing Burrage onto the back foot on the forehand, getting an error, now has a chance to level things up once again. Can't do a lot about that though.
Yep, that was too good.
Advantage, Raducanu.
That was smart from Emma. You can just see that the sun's in the wrong spot for Jodie to hit that smash. And she managed to get it deep enough that it was a tough one for her.
But it's the serve once again, getting her out of trouble. That return outstretched on the forehand is one of my favourite things that Raducanu does. Okay, we talk about the backhand being her best strike all round, but that particular forehand she manages to play really is outstanding.
Yeah, and the depth that she's able to get off of that, it's a really difficult shot and she makes it look pretty easy.
Second serve to look at here to try and get the break back. And she manages it. It's the forehand once again breaking down for Burrage.
3 games all.
Yeah, you could see that Emma was trying to target her forehand on that point, and it paid off for her.
This really is high quality stuff. We've actually got the LTA Awards taking place tomorrow. Normally there's a bit of a ceremony, and it takes place during Wimbledon time, but of course it will all be done virtually. Lots of things will be awarded: volunteers, coaches, clubs, competitions, all different areas of the game. But the reason I bring it up is because there is an award for Young Player of the Year, and surely Raducanu is in contention.
15 love.
For the juniors, that's of course anyone under the age of 18, so Raducanu qualifies for that. Really has had an outstanding 12 months. Haven't been told the nominations or the winners, but we will be able to confirm for you on Friday.
Yeah, you would definitely expect to see her among those nominated. She's the highest ranked junior.
You're a bulldog. You got this.
You can hear that support getting rowdy.
Dom Inglot's back in the house.
Yeah.
He had to do his own supporting in his mixed doubles. We've also got awards just for Player of the Year as well.
30-15.
Of course, got Evans in the mix, Joe Conter. A lot of players who've been playing here at this tournament will be nominated. Possibly Heather Watson. Just missed that one, but she is relentlessly going at Jodie Burrage now.
Not during the point, huh?
Oof, almost so close.
Heather Watson, of course, picking up a title in Acapulco, so I'm sure she'll be in contention. But as I mentioned, we will let you know who takes home a trophy when we get those winners through. It'll be Thursday evening, so we'll let you know on Friday. A miss hit there off the depth from Burrage.
30-14.
More pressure on the Raducanu serve.
Juice.
Let's go now, Radis. Here we go. Let's go.
Well, Burrage not happy about that. I thought it looked well wide. This Hawkeye doesn't make many mistakes, I must say.
Yeah, it's been good. Never actually seen it before live.
Good depth of Raducanu. You can feel it heating up now. Both players getting more and more vocal. The racket leaving the hand of Burrage. Yeah, it takes a little while just to settle into it, but then actually you just kind of forget about it. Sounds like normal lines judges, I guess. One too many shots of quality coming from the racket of Jodie Burrage. The support is ramping up. The pace on court is ramping up.
Yeah, you can really hear the jacks getting loud. They need this to build up their score a little bit.
Raducanu going back behind. Burrage was
Advantage,
charging to
Raducanu.
cover the space, thinking Raducanu was going to play the off forehand. Didn't come.
Game,
It was a tough game, but she toughed it out.
Raducanu leads by 4 games to 3.
Big serve to finish that one. Still on serve in this second set. You can really feel that this is on a knife edge. Big quality hitting from both ends of the court. 4-3, Raducanu.
He can't get to you. He can't get to you.
He's trying so hard.
He's trying so hard, but it ain't going to work.
Yeah, but it's not working. You're doing
It's
really
not
well.
working.
That's really
Best way to piss him off as well.
doing great.
Great job on the return game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First point, I was like, screw this, okay?
Back behind on the forehand, working the dream.
Bit of shape as well.
Yeah. It's almost when there's shape and you've got the depth with a bit less pace, that's where she...
Time.
There you go, Rose. Great work.
Here we go. Come on, keep it up.
Here we go, Rose. Keep the ball rolling here.
Positive words from Captain Keothavong. Just saying to Emma, don't let it get to you, this level of support. Quite unusual if you've not been part of a Fed Cup before. Raducanu, of course, has been in the Fed Cup team, was at the Copper Box. Has not played on the court and experienced that just directly at her.
Love 15.
That's a way to keep people quiet, isn't it? Apart from Dom, he's on her team.
Yeah, she won't mind it coming from that side of the court.
Second serve return.
They're going to be firing it back now.
She got away with it. Just pushed that drop shot a little bit too deep, but Burrage couldn't get it away from Raducanu, who guessed the right way and then had plenty of space to play into on the cross court. Well, that is the shot that Anne Keothavong was talking about in the last sit-down. Just a little bit of shape on top of the depth, causing problems to the Burrage forehand. Now Raducanu's got a few cracks here at getting a break in this second set.
And Jodie will be really looking to get her first serve in here. It was a great second serve though.
15-14.
Just needs to take one at a time here and stay calm. Still very close in the score.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good stuff from Burrage out here. I think she'll be a little disappointed with the forehand errors. They really have been causing her some problems. But so has Emma Raducanu. Heavy second serve. Just a reminder, this match worth 2 points on the board. best point of the match so far for Emma Raducanu. It had everything. The backhand slice, the higher ball she was looking for, and it gives her the break. She will now be serving for this match.
Yeah, you could see the difference the variation made in that point. Just really throwing off Jodie's rhythm.
Getting away from Burrage.
She hit a great return, and I think she just overpressed on that forehand, trying to go for too much.
Heather Watson encouraging her just to hang in here.
Yeah, Emma must be feeling some nerves to try and close this out. Jodie just needs to stay tough.
all. Let's for service.
Keeping it simple.
30-15.
Serving first strike. Couple of points now.
And she had great target on that forehand. Good combination of width and power.
Not quite getting hold of that one, it's just sailing a little long. This is why it's always worth putting the pressure on. Just pushed it wide. Good chasing from both players.
40-30.
Yeah, Jodie saw that coming that time.
So it brings up a match point. Emma Raducanu. It's 3 wins from 3 for Emma Raducanu, the 17-year-old, the youngest player in this event, but she is taking a leading role when it comes to picking up points for the British Bulldogs. 2 more on the board. And she takes out Jodie Burrage in straight sets, and you can see how happy she is. What a phenomenal week she has been having. Comes through that one, 7-5, 6-3. I think we can all agree that they both played really well. Some big wins for Raducanu, a win against Bolton, a win against Jodie Burrage and Andy Murray, and now Jodie Burrage in the singles as well. That's the end result. Well, the result as of right now, 26-12. It was such a high level of tennis between these two young up-and-comers. And Emma Raducanu must be thrilled with that, and she is courtside alongside Nick Lester.
Emma, well done. This is turning out to be a very good week for you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying myself this week. It's an unbelievable atmosphere. I was saying last night was the most fun I've ever had on a match court, so I'm just really pleased to be out here. The atmosphere is so good to play with, especially when you're down the team's end. It's just so great. Like, I think Jodie played a very good match, and we both played a very high level today. So yeah, I'm just really pleased to have come through and kept going. So yeah, let's see what we can do.
Have you experienced an atmosphere like this before?
No, definitely not, because we're all on the same team, and I think maybe Fed Cup is very similar because we're all getting behind them, we're playing for our country, which is such an honour. But yeah, this week is something really different for us, and yeah, we're just cherishing every moment.
And from a game perspective, what's pleasing you the most about your game?
I'm really pleased with the improvements that I've been making in lockdown, with forehand especially, and also returning my serve. I think that I'm playing pretty aggressively, and mentally I'm also really strong at the moment, so I'm just pleased with how I'm getting on with it despite any distractions that were on the side of the court.
And somebody was telling me that you passed your driving test 2 days before lockdown.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. I got really lucky. It was actually my dad who pushed me to take the test that week, otherwise probably wouldn't have my license now, and it makes a massive difference, so shout out to him.
We've enjoyed watching you. Good stuff. Thanks, Em.
Well, she is loving the support and loving the opportunities coming her way this week, and she keeps earning them. She's earned another shot at getting named in the team by captain Anne Keothavong and Leon Smith. And here's just a little look at the numbers, and Katie Swan to take you through them.
You can see overall it was a great match for both players. You know, they played at a really high level, both looking to be aggressive. But you can just see here from the stats that there were just a few more unforced errors coming off Jodie's racket. Yeah, Emma just looked a little bit more controlled overall. I think that was the biggest difference though. And the break points converted. You know, Emma seemed to really stay in control the whole time.
So that was how that one shook out. It was a tight match indeed, but possibly just the forehand getting away from Burrage a touch. But boy, was she up against it. Raducanu slamming down some beautiful winners. And the sun is just starting to get a little bit lower, but it won't bother Jamie Murray because it's on the right side of the court. And as the lefty, it won't be too much of a problem for him, but he will be taking part in the next match. And it